Here we go. Hello, hello. This is going to be a live video chat show where we do arts and crafts for adults because we use sharp things like scissors and needles and heat guns and hot glue guns and dangerous electrical items. But we're also uh, a craft show where we interact with the chat room as we go along the night, and we interact and chit chat and talk and have a good time together. So, with that being said, I will be setting up my iPad so that I can see the chat, and I will get that up on my iPad so that I can talk to you. So, see here. Let's get me up here. Let's get me on here, up and on, and me up here and alive. Let's get me. There we go. So with that, put that up here. I'm getting organized here. Just take me a minute to piddle around and get it. For some reason, let's try that. And we've got Teresa in the room. Hi, Teresa. Howdy do. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're number one tonight. You're number one in my book, honey. You're number one. So, um, Teresa, I will be sending you some napkins, but it's just one way, sweetie, because Margaret sent me some more napkins. So I'll be sending you some. Hi, Linda. Come on in. Linda, do you like to play with napkins? Hi, Joyce. Hi, Lori. I've got some envelopes here from Miss Margaret. Joycey and Lori. I do, but can't swap. Well, that's okay. This will be one way. I'll do it one way. I got some extra napkins that Margaret has mailed me, and I won't be able to send 10, but I might be able to get 5 in there, 5 in here. And if I don't have to take the backs off, I can go ahead and do it really fast, and that way I can get some in the mail to you and to each of you guys here. I'll take the first few people that come in the room. So I'll send some to Teresa. Let me get these envelopes set up like this. So Teresa will get some. And I'll show you the napkins. They're I've got some crosses and I got some of these. So I got some napkins. So we'll do Teresa and Linda. Uh, and Joycey. Okay. And Lori, I think I've got an envelope over there on the table that I found. Lori, I found an envelope over here on the table with your name on it, and it had to be something that you won or something that I was going to send you. Happy Mail. Let's see if oh, it's still open. I think I was going to send you something in the mail, Lori, that you won. You won these little stamps. So these have been laying here on the table over here. So I'm going to add some napkins to your thing. And who else came in? Linda, Joyce, Lori. Got Lori's. And who was next? And Teresa. Was that it? Just four of you? Linda, Joyce, Lori, Joyce, Linda, Joyce, Teresa, Linda, Joyce, Lori, Linda. Okay, I got it. Okay, I will give these send these out to you ASAP, and you can thank Margaret. You can thank our sweet, sweet Margaret for that. Uh huh. Yeah. So Margaret sent us some more napkins, and for me to use in our napkin book. This is we did Tandem 10 last night. If anybody wants to go back and watch it, it was a really relaxing night. We didn't do a lot of talking. We just created our Tandem 10 page, and it's the same 10 items between Becca, Dana, and myself. And we opened up an envelope that had the same 10 items in it, and we all made a different page. And this was my page from last night. And I like it. It was cute. We had 10 items on there. There were stickers, there was some encouraging cards, there was a three ring, a binder of three ATC card holder, and I made three ATCs to put in there. There was a red envelope that I punched out, and there's some braille paper and some other things on there. But it was a lot of fun. So that's what I did last night. Oh, Lori's got a cast. Oh, Lori, I am so sorry. Did you fall? Did you have a fall? You've had it for a while, haven't you? So, hi, Sharon. Hi, sweetie. Margaret. Angela's here. Woohoo! Praying that you're well, Angela. Angela's she's got I think a cast or a boot on her foot, and she's had surgery on her feet. Joyce says, I'm trying to add a lining to the lace balloon shade. I'm having trouble. Well, Joyce, I hope you figure it out. Take your time. Step away from the project if you need to. Then when you go back in, it'll be easier. Hello, Vanessa. Anybody else come in? Is there anybody in the balcony? Hello, hello. Come on in. So sorry. Okay. Now, I will I've got to do this tonight. So anyway, Margaret sent me some yes, I ran away. Oh, Joyce, you can do it. Hey, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And because Christ strengthens you, you can do all things. Period. You can do it and you will do it and you're going to do it. So there, Joyce, you're covered. You'll do it now. I say that whenever I'm trying to hang up, wallpaper with one arm or something, doing something difficult, and I swear, it works every time. Come on in. So anyway, Margaret sent me some napkins, and we're going to put these in the napkin book. So I love this with the teapot. So when I put this one down in the book, I want to cut out a teapot out of craft paper and paper piece me a crafted teapot, and a cup to put on top of this napkin. That'll be so cute. Maybe we'll do it tonight. And then she sent me one with a cross, and these are dinner napkins. And then she sent me one with Van Gogh on it. Starry, Starry Night. So we'll have to think of something crafty to put on this napkin page, something Van Goghish. And then she sent me a pair of boots. She sent me a pair of boots. So this will be a Western page. Aren't they cute? This is a napkin. This is a napkin. It's on 4 sides. I got 4 pair of boots. Then she sent me this one in gold, and it's the dandelion make a wish. This will be fun on a page where I can actually say make a wish on the page. That'll be fun. I might do that one tonight too. I've already got 2 I want to do. These are all going in a napkin book anyway. And then this one is pretty. It's orange, and it reminds me of India, the country of India. So maybe I can find something in the traveling book, the catalog book, the travel catalog, something on India. But doesn't that look that's pretty? We might have to do that one tonight too. We'll see how far we can go. I enjoy I'm enjoying my uh, napkin book very much. Teresa says, "How art thy foot?" There's Juju in the house. Juju, I've got something I'm going to send you for your cowboy book. I got a napkin to send you, Juju. Are you home? Almost home. So anyway, those are the napkins that Margaret sent me, and I will be working on these. Bonnie likes it. Woohoo! So I'll send you some boots. There's 4 pair of boots in this napkin. So you can do all kinds of crafty things with your boots. And then she sent me this little tub, this little box here, and it's got lace in it. This is from Bon Bon. Oh, Bonnie, Bon Bon. This is some lace, and I think I need to put it on um, a spool. Let's see if I got a spool to put this on. Um, I don't know what I've done with all my extra spools. I had some extra spools, and they they're fun to put your trimmings on. I wonder if they're up here. I'm going I'm going to be brave and get a basket down off the top shelf. No, they're not in there. Oh, there's a lot of things in here. Let's see if I can find something in here that I need. This has got some stuff that needs to go in the closet. Okay. Empty boxes and things. Okay. But that's not what I was looking for. Not what I was looking for. Uh, but I found what I was looking for over here. All right. Here's what I want. Either this one or this one. Come on. You can do it. Get out of there. Yeah. We've got a basket of spools that I have. Phew, that made me dizzy. So I do have some spools. The spools I got off of Marketplace. If you all remember, you all got Marketplace Uh, you can wear a pair of boots. There you go. uh, space chat's going awful fast, so I'm not gonna be able to read everything. But if you type in caps, I can really see the capitalizations, and I can read your lines. So Margaret's still hooked on paper clips. I have a few that I have here on my desk that I made, and I've got another one that Margaret made me still laying here. So I've got this one to play with yet. Haven't put it on something yet. Might be in my napkin book. Yes, the black, it's black. But they have flowers on them and diamonds. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. These little lace flowers, and they each have a black bead and a diamond. And there's a solid and then a see through. Every other one, solid and see through. Well, sort of solid. You can still see through it. But isn't that pretty? But these can be cut apart and used individually on different things. So I'm going to try to put them on this spool here. Although they are packed in this little tiny case, just ever, this is good. It's like a little CD case, and I will use that for something. But I'll never be able to get these back in that case with the lid shut. Oh, Angela bought some of that from Timu. Okay, when you were friends. Yeah, I guess Timu's out of the question now for shipping reasons. I was wanting to buy some more from him. I bought from him one time, and I didn't really think that. Um, well, I did like everything that I got, although I don't remember everything. But all I noticed is that everything was very miniature, and I thought I was getting something a little bit bigger. Everything was a lot smaller than I thought, and but it was still inexpensive and cheaper than most other things. Angel's got some of these. Yeah, you cut them apart. Okay. Yeah, I can't imagine anything in my art book uh, that I could be using a whole row of these uh, for something, but that would be awesome in a cluster. And I'm just going to cut a few off to just to put on my desk. I've got a little box here. Hi, Joe.
Well, hello, hello.
What you doing, Joe?
I just thought I'd come in.
Come in and say hello.
Hello, hello. Oh yeah.
Joe was fixing me dinner, but I'm not going to be able to eat it until after we get off.
It's probably a good idea.
Is that a good idea?
Oh yeah,
You think?
maybe.
So I'm going to put a dollop of glue on here because every time I get something on these uh, spools, they slide around the pole, and then I uh, can't get it tight enough to stay on the pole on the the the, the spool. So I'm just going to put this on here and wrap it around and around. This is something that Margaret sent me, Joe.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The
The
lace,
the lace.
fancy lace with diamonds and black pearls.
Yeah. Well, I just hope all you girls, none of y'all's getting into that bad weather. I just hope.
Oh, and it's where is it? You say
Pray for that.
Tennessee and Kentucky?
But well, um, Well, it's going right through.
It's
It's going
going
right through.
it's going through
And
fast.
yeah,
Well, they got some bad tornadoes yesterday, and I saw 26 injured,
yeah,
dead
a lot of people.
from the tornadoes. And I'm not sure what all the states were, but I'm sure you all have heard it on the news.
And it's not clearing up too good until it gets
So
through its run.
doesn't that look pretty on this spool? And I'll stick a pretty stick pin in it to hold it down, and then I can get something off of that anytime I want.
Anytime,
Anytime.
anywhere.
So we'll put Margaret's napkins over here out of the way.
Thank you, Margaret.
Margaret's my girl. She supports me as well as you guys. All of y'all support me. And Margaret, she's been very um giving. She's a giving girl. She's my giving angel. But she knows I always give to you guys too. So so that's good. So I've got this thing. I still have another spool. I'll sit him over here in the corner for the next thing I need. But um, but I've got this little jar here, and I'm collecting these little jars. These are purple square plastic, and I take uh what's the sleeping pill, or not a pill, but the sleeping thing that helps you sleep, starts with an N. I want to say nitro, but it's not nitro. It's um, melatonin. It's an M, not an N. Thank you, Laurie. I take melatonin at night, and these are this jar is a gummy. It's like a little gummy. It's a like a button, and I take that at night. It's a go like a it's like a gummy bear, but it looks like a little button. But anyway, it helps me to fall asleep. It doesn't keep me asleep. It just helps me fall asleep. It helps me turn things off, if that is understandable. So anyway, I am trying to get some things over here to stay there. So yesterday we had these little local uh, book boxes around our town, and they're shaped like a little house, and they're little book houses, and they're free books for anybody who wants to go through them. And and there's one little place where we like to stop. I stop, and I get me a couple of books. And I'm going to go over here to my shelves and find me. I got 4 books this time, and I'm going to find 4 books to put back
The
in
swap.
in the box. It's kind of, you're supposed to kind of swap it
It's a
out
book swap.
and uh, and help, help recycle the books. So there might be a book there that you haven't seen and you want to read it, and then you can give them a book that you've already read. So, but it's it's a book, little book thing. And anyway, I got this one, and I haven't read it, but it says Alphabet or Juice, or The Joy of Text. So I really have no idea what it's about, but if it says, if everybody's first English teacher were Roy Blount, which is this guy, if everybody's English teacher were this guy, we might still be in debt, trillions in debt, which money. We be so deeply in love with words and their magic, we can hardly notice. And then this one said, these are pre things, but it says here, no man of letters savors the ABCs. No man of letters severs, which means have a great taste for the ABCs, or serves them up quite like the language loving humorist Roy. So anyway, it's about words, and then he talks about each word. Knick-knack, often spelled knick-knack, uh, a social, occasionally even nicky-knack, but I am for preserving for the four Ks. Knick-knack would suffice to fix the pronunciation. But I'd like to sense unvoiced K sounds in the background. So he talks about knick-knack. And he goes on to say, he goes on for this much more talking about knickknacks. So let's find one that's real small. That's a good word. Waggles. Golly, I've never heard of that word. Golf. He's got 2 pages on golf. He's got gnat. Here it is. Gnat. You know what a gnat is? You know, it's like a little gnat that flies around and gets in your face. Chambers. Chambers must be the universal chambers of museum. Says this ultimately related to gnat. A gnatling is a small gnat. At answers.com, we're told that a gnat usually reaches the length of 4 centimeters and the wingspan of approximately 6 centimeters. Call that the average gnat. That's a big one, isn't it? That is a huge gnat. Information drawn from the pest uh, management company. Scares tactics, if you ask, is a scaring tactic, if you ask me. But anyway, these are funny words, or just words that he likes to talk about, and he finds anything and everything funny to say about words. So anyway, I thought this book was interesting, and actually, when I bought the book, I thought it would be a good uh, to dismember this book and use the book for my next one of my next journals. So I probably will read it first, and I could even use some of these words. I could stick some of these in Happy Mail, just little trivia words. So this is all the beginning parts of it. The A's. Here we go. Here are the A's. Talks about a whole paragraph, a whole page on just the letter A. And then the first word is abacus. Abacus. It's a machine, calculating machine. So there you go. So anyway, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we do with that book. And then I bought this book for Juju. Is Juju still here? She might be trying to get her a snack. Hi, Janet. Hi, Butterroll. Goldie. Goldie has posted a video of her cows. I know it is, Vanessa. The G is supposed to be silent on Gnat. I understand that. So, and there's Diane. Yes, Diane lives in Australia, and she streams during the night, middle of the night. I try to look at her when I wake up in between things at night, but I'm usually asleep. So, but anyway, I bought this book for Juju, and I thought this would be a cute book for her to read to us. If you watch Juju, she reads to us at night, and it's very fun. And it's extra fun the way she reads it in character. Here you go. I'm going to send you the White Fur Flying. It's an old library book that I've got. I got it for free, and I'm going to send it to Juju. And then I'm hoping that when Juju reads it, if she gets to read it, if she gets to read this, I'm hoping that that she will like to read it and maybe even add some things to it the way she's so creative when she reads to us. But it starts out, once upon a time there was a wicked green queen. I'm sorry, I can't see. A wicked queen, said my younger sister Alice. Okay, so Alice is telling the story. She peered out the window at the house over the field across the small brook. So there's a house and a creek. I looked and I saw a woman. Her hair was piled on top of her head, walking up the sidewalk. She was followed by movers carrying furniture. Move out of the way, lady. Get out of the way. The wicked queen had two children. They were bad children, and she often punished them. Alice, said Mamma from the screen side porch, can't you tell a pleasant story? Alice was the storyteller in the family, and some of her stories filled with hilarious means of characters. So how did she punish them, I ask? Zoe, don't encourage her. So we've got Alice telling Zoe, her sister, the story, and Mama says from the outside of the side porch, don't encourage her. So I watched my mother through the open door to the porch, and she brushed Cody. She has always brushed dogs on the screen porch and then swept all the hair up. So Cody is the dog. They have a dog involved. So you see how this story is going. Well, Juju can do all the characters and everything. So Juju, I'm going to mail you this book and the author's notes, chapter 16. So the chapters are kind of short, and I thought, well, maybe you can read, a chapter a night or two, and it's in large print, so you can read it in the dark, Juju. So I'm going to send this to her. I think she would enjoy it. I think if you have time, because she's got other people sending her books too, so she may never get it, but it's on the back burner. Okay, and then I bought this book. And the first thing I said to this book, well, Linda Rents in our group, Linda, she has a son named Tim. He's an adult, and I know that this is an ABC book. It's not an adult book, but I certainly enjoyed it when I read it on the way home. I learned a few things. Oh, okay. That's Dana. Wait a minute, Dana's here. I'm going to let her in.
Oh, yeah, here.
Yeah, I just need to reach for my go lay down. You're going to fall asleep. Hi, Dana.
Hey,
I'm almost done
that's fine.
telling a story. Uh, Becca, if you want to come in, come on. Tell Becca she can come in too if she wants.
Hey,
Becca,
everybody.
Becca just got offline, and let me see if I can't find her too. She
Hi,
can
Dana.
she
How are
can
you
come in.
doing?
I'm good. Didn't you sent it in the group one?
I did. Come on. Uh, Becca. Uh, Becca. Oh, there, she's in the group. She's in the chat room. Becca just got off from streaming, so I don't know. She might be feeding the babies. She's got baby kittens. But if she come on, we could see the kittens. So anyway, this was a children's book, but it's got trains in it. And and Tim Rents, Linda's son, lives with her and he loves trains. So you see here, this one here, the train that doesn't have anything on the front or the back, it's a turbo coach full of people. See, now I didn't know that.
Yeah,
So,
you've
and
never
this
been
one,
on one.
yes, I have.
Turbo coach?
Yeah, yeah, I've been on a train before. And this one, of course, is the traditional box coat box car. Yeah, I've been on a coach. I went on a. I told that last week. I went on a
Scott
train.
wants
Yeah, yeah.
Scott
This
wants
one's
to take the auto train.
caboose. Oh wow, that thing goes so fast. Why? Why
He
do you want
wants
to
to
go so
do it.
fast
He wants to go back up to Washington, and I'm like,
on that train?
oh yeah.
It would get you up there in a hurry. But anyway, I lived beside a train track all my life, so I like trains. But anyway, I thought, well, it might be a conversational piece. So I will write Linda a note saying, I know this is an ABC book, but I liked the words and the pictures. So that's going to go to, so two of these are going to be sent out. And then the last book that I got these from one of those book houses on the side of the road. Do you have them up there, over there?
Sometimes, yeah, some places.
Okay. And so, anyway, this one I got for the size of the book and the hardness. And and then some of these in here, I might be able to use some of the clip art in it. I thought maybe I can use the pages, like I would cover this up and keep this bright side over here, and art in this book. And I haven't decided yet, but it's in my stash. So, and I might be able to use some of the clip art. It's pretty big. Everything's big in this book. So we'll see about that one.
I bet that'd be a really good trip on the subway in DC. Go on.
Oh, you're in here, Linda. Oh, great. Okay, Linda. I was thinking about Tim. And okay, well, it would be a conversational, Linda. And I don't know if he reads, but he might be able to, read it to you as a something like a group activity, and do a little book review for you. If he's in the teacher mode, he may not do any of that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm going to send it to him anyway. So anyway, I need to find my napkin book right here. And I glued a napkin on the front, a peacock on the front, but you can't see it. So I've got to find a picture to put on here instead of another napkin, because this napkin is so bold and blue. Uh, I can put a picture on it. But all of these napkins are to be put in the book. There's us. This is all of us, guys. Look, there's
Mhm.
Joe.
Yep, that's Joe.
But it's a picture from something else. So anyway, I've got some more napkins to put in here. So let me find some more pages, and I got a pair of boots, and these will be. I'm going to send Juju a pair of boots. She's got a cowboy book. If anybody likes cowboys, uh, she's got a cowboy book. She sure does. Yep, she'll be glad to show it to you.
Hi,
Sure,
Janet. How are you?
she'll show it to you. So these got napkins already in it. And I got a tag. I'm going to do a red, white, and blue page in here uh, for Memorial Day. I need to get started on that. So I'm going to call this my India, the country napkin, and find me some India girls to put it on there. That would be fun. And I really love the the tea the teacup. Boy, I'm going to stick this one up because I'd like to do it tonight. So, Dana, do you want to do a napkin page with me?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Well, I'm pick a napkin. It doesn't have to be the same one, and we're going to glue it down. You can glue yours on a sheet of paper,
Oh well, I got a book.
and or in your art book, whatever journal book you're working in, you can put your napkin in there, and and then we will look for some things that will look good on that page. And I'm going to make a teapot out of some scrapbooking paper and a teacup to put on mine. And then I'll probably put something up here like tea for two or something. Something cutesy. So that's what I'm going to do. So hi everybody in the room. I know I have not said hi to everybody. There's Juju, Esther, Linda, Janet, Goldie, Angie, and you guys are, and Diane. I think I think I've talked to everybody, most everybody,
Oh, almost.
almost.
Just maybe one, I think.
Joe says maybe one or two I might have missed. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my napkin apart and Josie, you'll have to watch and see if Becca comes in. She's invited if she wants to come in and goof off with this. And I know she's got napkins. She's got boxes and boxes of napkins. Oh, Angie said she's taking us on the walk. We're all exercising tonight. Oh, I feel so much better. Oh, my back is better. My legs are better. Oh, thank you, Angie. She's taking us on the walk. So this is going to go this direction. So that's what we'll do. I'm going to fold this back and glue this side down. So, but anyway, I got those books. I got the napkins that Margaret sent me. And oh, we get to talk about the napkin trade. If anybody would like to be on the napkin swap, you just need to let me know. It doesn't officially start until April the 1st, and I've got a list of the people that are on it and who you're going to mail your napkins to. Did you show the napkins? I've been trying to keep an eye on the weather. So if you did, I missed it. Teresa, I did. I showed some napkins. I can show some of them again. This is one of them with the teapot. Oh, this is for June. Yes, Angie, thank you. See, look, guys, she's walking. Trying to get her exercise in, and she's correcting me, which is good because I need corrected from time to time. I meant for June, not April. We've already done the April swap. This is for the month of June. May is tags. We've already should have mailed out all of our tags and they should be in the mail. If you haven't gotten yours yet, they have 2 more weeks for it to get to you. So fear not. So let's see, Vanessa, you're going to be mailing your napkins to Esther. And Goldie, you're going to be mailing your napkins to Sharon, and Lori's going to be mailing her napkins to Esther. These girls are helping me. This is Sharon Lumbar and Esther Thompson. So Jassie's going to mail her napkins to Sharon, and Colleen Gravis are going to mail her napkins to Esther. So, so we've got Esther gets Becca. If you want to come on, you're invited. I know you just streamed, but it's in the chat room if you wanna. But Esther has Vanessa, Laura Beth, Colleen Gravis, Doretha, and Lindy K. Lindy K. Those are all Esther's swaps. You send your 10 napkins to Esther, and then Esther will mail you back 10 different napkins. And Sharon, your people are Margaret, Goldie, Jassy, Sharon R., and Patty Davidson. And all of these girls here, 5 girls will mail you their napkins, and then when you receive their napkins, you will mail them back 10 different napkins. And then I will do the rest of these names. I think I have six. One, two, three, four, 5, 6. So I will keep adding names this way if I get any more names. And then I have another list down here of people who want an extra name to send it one way. Okay, Becca. I understand, Becca. She's holding the babies, the kittens. And we'd like for you to come on and show the kittens while they're sleeping. And Butter Roll says, I can't remember if I sent them to Esther or Edna. I don't know what you sent or what you think you sent, but these are just recently. Uh, I just recently. This is the first time I said it to you, Better Roll. This is for the napkin swap. Okay, Kathy wants to do the trade, and I will put her name down. And you're going to be in Sharon's group.
Speaking, Sharon Lumbar. Hello, hello.
Kathy Dameron.
Jody
Now,
says,
Kathy, have you received your tags yet? She's in the tag trade. Kathy, let me know if you have sent your if you've received your tags. And there's 2 weeks, 2 more weeks before it's time's up. And with all this bad weather and things, that might affect certain postal
issues. Yeah.
issues. Post some mail goes from place to place to place before it actually gets to where you are.
They were talking the Mississippi River's flooding over.
Oh, you've received your tags. Oh, great. Okay, Kathy. Phew. Just a day late. That's all. They really weren't late. Okay. So anyway, my group is going to be Juju, Bonnie, Joyce B, and Linda. I got something to send to Linda anyway. And the new girl, Constance. Um, she has to. I think she's already sent me her address. And Angela. So if anybody wants to be on the extra list, you just need to let me know, and I will message you your new and your extra person to send napkins to. And the extra list, it's not necessarily 10 napkins. It could be 5 napkins. Um, and then maybe some Happy Meal. You know. So hi, Lynn. Lynn has given me her address. Uh, and Lynn got some she got some prizes, and I will be sending that out too. I know I'm a little behind on my mailing, but I'll get it all out this week for sure. So anyway, that's the napkin trade. If anybody has any questions, you can holler at me real loud. So Dana's got a napkin down. Oh, she's got little mice. Look at her napkin, guys. So I'm going to finish gluing mine. Oh, Bonnie, okay, Juju. Bonnie wants to be an extra person, and that will mean, and I will give you that person's name and address. And the extra people are, um, um, it'll just be a one-way deal where they don't have to send anything back, and it's for different reasons. that they won't be able to send you something back. It might be, they're having surgery, or maybe they're out of town, or maybe they live in a different place, in assisted living, or someplace, a nursing home, or maybe they're in the hospital, and they can have various reasons why they can't send something back. And we don't judge. We send one way, no problem. So Lynn said she's got extra prompts on her channel, and if some of my helpers would like to put Lynn's link in, we can all subscribe to her. And if you have a link, like Butter Roll has a link, Esther has a link, Janet Nash has a link, and Becca has a link. Uh, uh, if somebody want to put some of our links in, that would be very much appreciated. And if you don't know Dana over here, we'll put her link in too. She streams on Mondays, and we streamed yesterday, and we did the Tandem 10 game. It's a little game that we play every once a month. I'm trying to get him to do another game, but we'll see. We'll see if that works.
Angela Adele. Hello, hello.
Angela's going to help me out. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, guys. So I'm going to continue to work on my napkin page. And then we're going to go to the scrapbooking paper. And I'd like to do my teapot in something that matches, but something that maybe that will pop on top of the napkin. So something a little bit brighter, maybe, to put on top. Okay. And Angela, I think she's in the car. She's not walking. Have you walked yet today, Angela? I've already had you already out walking. And sometimes when you get the napkin across the 2 pages, the gutter, you might have to tear it a little bit with something sharp so that it'll fit in the gutter. And then I'm going to take a wet brush and go across the top of my book like that. That'll tear apart. You can save this for something else. I'll put it in the back. Oh, I'm sorry. Angie's the one that's walking. Well, that's what okay. I thought maybe you said we. I was thinking you were in the car. Never mind, Angie. Never mind. Angela says she can't even sit up. Oh, we'll get those long pins out. Okay, Angela. We'll pray for mercy. Oh heavens, we'll pray for mercy, Angela. Definitely give you some mercy prayers. Esther's been working on her napkin book too. All right. So anyway, I'm just tacking the corners down now a little bit. My eyes are itching like there's
Yes, Gage.
a feather in there or something.
What do you
Allergies,
want?
I guess.
What do you want?
That's my drawing.
I've had eye drops. Would you give me a Benadryl out of my drawer? It's the hot pink pill
Where's it at?
in my drawers. Hot pink. It might be the bottom drawer
What room?
in my bedroom. So, okay, and I need to put my turn my fan on in here. Goodness gracious, my fan's been turned off. Plug that baby in. Okay. All right. So anyway, so let's go up here and get some paper. Dana, what are you going to do? Oh, you found some cutouts. Oh, that's going to be cute. Look at that. What a catch. I had to catch that free-handedly. I think that's just a piece of cardboard. These are the
Yeah.
cardboards off the back of my papers, and I keep them because they'll be good to do crafts with. So I'm
Oh,
thinking,
look, Beth.
what is it?
I need to
Oh,
put that on the front of my book.
bicycle built for two.
That can go on my Tandem 10 book.
It sure can. That is so cute. That'll go on anything. So you guys tell me what would look good. I'm gonna let you all pick. So pay attention. I want to make a teapot and a teacup, and I can do a stack of teacups on this pink paper. So you tell me which one of these papers would be good for a teapot. That one would definitely stand out while it makes you cross-eyed. There's some tags. This is some like record beekeeping. There's some words. Another one of those. There's some movie strips. For a teapot, we're going to do a teapot. There's a rainbow. I've just about got all the good ones out of this book. More tags, some cameras and typewriters, and that's another log book, paper. And that's all in that book. So we're not going to do that one. Don't need that one. So uh, let's look over here. Now this is a yellow. I could do a yellow pot, and it's a possibility, but not my favorite. Of course, we could do a white. We could do a white pot and doodle on it and make our own designs on it. So you all pick. I've got graduation paper. I've got beach paper. I think we want a smaller print. There's carnations. That's bright for a teapot now. This one might work. It's a orange tone. We have. You went out there. Did we get any mail?
I'll check it.
Okay.
Well, girls, I gotta go get my chores done outside in the yard.
Time for him to start cutting grass.
Listen, I gotta get
Juju
this grass
says
cut before we get the
green.
rain.
Do I have any green? I shall look. Ooh, look at this one.
I love y'all, and I hope y'all have a good evening.
Hi, Joe.
How about
Bye, Dana. Bye, girls.
hot pink butterflies? And I'll make sure the butterflies get on the teapot with maybe some of this, hearts. There's a heart. Angela says, he's already cooked, Angela. He fixed me a fish sandwich, guys, and it was good. I've got some ladybugs. I'm voting for this one first, but it makes this pink look washed out, doesn't it? Seashells. This one's mostly blue, and there's a pink piece of paper in there. But I don't think I like the darker pink better. There's blue. This is my cool blue scrapbooking paper, and this is the third book that I've bought and gone through because I love the blues, and I've used two other books. This is kind of green. Goldie likes the blue with stripes. Have I showed stripes yet? This one? These are the only stripes I see. Okay. And I've got this one out already. Then I've got this one. I'm letting you all pick. This is very similar to these. It's a sister print. It's Paisley's. And this one's got all of these colors in it, the blues and the greens. The white and blue. And then we've got tie-dye. The yellow with green leaf. The yellow with green leaf. I think that's what she's saying. Then we've got tie-dye. And there is a pink one underneath there. We've got 4 so far. This is green and white polka dots. Daisies. Striped. Same color theme. Some more tie-dye. Carnation. Another green and white. Tie-dye. Dana's doing her own napkin. She's working. She's got cars on her napkin right now. That looks cute. She's doing vintage. More flowers. Stripes, yellow and blue stripes. Big polka dots. Bonnie likes the daisies. More tie-dye. Circles. Put it in the boat. This is just blue leaves. They're like leaves. And it's got a little bit of a purpley tint to it. I'm going to call this purple paisley. I like that one. And some more tie-dye.
I'm quiet, I know.
And a green.
I keep getting distracted.
That's okay. We like the car.
There's the car, and then there's a house.
I think that's cute. Need you a big old tree in there.
Mm-hmm.
Or a half of a tree. Okay. Anybody else? There's another green one with white flowers. Okay, I still have these I'll put it on top. In case you decide on something else, we'll look at. I'm going to put these back up yonder.
No way.
No mail. Ah, what a sad day. Such a sad day. Okay, here's our napkin.
Uh,
I'm talking to them. Here's our napkin. We've got pink or green, A or B. A or B. We're going to do elimination. There's one B, and this is going to be a teapot. Oh, I got two A's. I got two A's. I got three A's. I got two B's. The Teresa says the green. That's okay. The next one will be the tiebreaker. A or B. Dana, which
Yeah.
one? Huh? A.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm putting the green over here. A or B. We're going to start. Oh, one or two. We're going to do one or two now, so we don't get confused.
And what's
Number
that for?
one pink and two daisy.
What, to match your coffee pots?
Yes, that would go best with the pods.
A.
And I'm going to do. It's going to be a giant pot on one of the pages. A bigger pot out
Mm-hmm.
of this paper. So we got two ones, three ones, two twos. Dana said one. That's four ones, five ones, and two twos. So I'm going to go ahead, five ones and three twos. So I'm going to go with the A. Okay, this one's going to go back in the stash. Okay,
Look at
now we're
this.
going to go. Let's use this one. A or B. We're going back to A's or B's. The pink or oh, that's cute. Or the green, yellow. A or B. Yeah, she did. A
Like
or
this.
oh, that's cute. Balloon's cute. Oh yeah.
Got some suitcases.
Can the bike go on the other page? Have you glued down anything yet?
No.
If you put that house up, move all that up, you can make the road the bottom
Mine
row.
is too wide for this page.
Oh, is it too big? Okay.
Yeah, it's too wide. Now this, I've got this bike, but I don't think it'll look good over there.
Okay. Okay, we've got five A's and three B's. Thank you, Goldie, for helping me. I need help. Okay, So I'm going to keep the A, which is the pink, and this is going in the stash.
These is stuff I bought like from. I think these are from Hobby Lobby.
This is another green. We're going back to 1 or 2. 1 or 2. Make sure you're alive. We still the pink still won. It was 5-4, Teresa. It was 5-4 on that yellow one. So we're going back to A and B, so we don't get confused with the. I'm sorry. You guys are no more than I do. You're back to 1 and 2, aren't you? So we got 4 1s and 1 2, 5 1s and 1 2. So we're going to pick. I think the pink is going to win. Okay, now we're going to go pink or blue. Pink or blue. And I'll put this beside it. Pink or blue. The pink was the first one. It always goes back to the first one. I like the blue. The blue wouldn't be too bad. And it has a little bit of green in there. Pink and blue, pink and blue. Okay, we got 1 blue, 2 blues, 3 blues, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pinks. I'm afraid it's going to be pink. But we can still use those papers for something else.
Okay, y'all take a break from Beth. Should I put this bike over here with the house or not?
How about putting the truck over there and the bike on the other page? I like the dark on the other page. Don't you? I like it. I like it that way. The first way you had it. Yeah,
This way?
the dark, because of the house is dark and the truck's dark, and then of course you can color those. Are you going to color them?
No,
Okay.
I'm gonna leave them. I want them to stay looking vintage.
Yeah. Oh, I like them.
Should I put flowers around here?
Like on around the house would look cute.
Only, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look for some
Or
more.
on one side of the house, not on both sides.
Yeah. Is this one good?
Yeah. I can't see the flowers very well, but I'm sure. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get a piece of paper. Get a piece of paper.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got these at Hobby Lobby. Um, the 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 truck and the house is Tim Holtz, and it comes in a package with a whole bunch of little people, and it also had these in it. And then these ones are Hobby Lobby, and this is Bo Bunny.
Do you have that Darlene book at close by that has the pictures that are punched out already?
Oh, Art by Marlene.
Yeah, Marlene.
Yeah. I'll pull it up. I'll go get them. They're right behind me.
So I'm going to use my ink pen. So this is half of my page right here. So what I want to do is
So I have this book that has all kinds of sayings in it, and it comes with like 4 sheets of each in different colors.
I just put one of those in my cart.
Then
What's the
I
name of
have
that one? The other one. The word.
this one was the Golden Oldie Sticky Quotes Collector's Book. And like some of them are like, snarky, and some of them ain't.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Then this is a book, Out of This World, Paper Elements. This is a small one. It's more than 250 elements. It's a 8x8, and it had double of this. I sent some of them to Becca, but this is kind of what's in it.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
then I have this one. This one
And
is
these
Paper Elements,
and the front of this book, this one's good. That one's good.
and it says includes extra big elements. So there's big and small in here. So, and it has paper in the back.
So they all pop out.
Yeah, these all pop out, but these are the bigger elements in the back.
Okay. Variety.
Yeah.
It's a big book. Okay. So that's
it's
why
thick.
it's $30.
Yeah, this one's really thick. Then
And her name is
Art by Marlene.
Art by Marlene.
So, and there's all kinds of stuff in here. There's wings that are separate, there's feathers. There's just all kinds of stuff. You can dress up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the big one. And then this one is the Golden Oldie Collector's Book. And it has some paper in the back, about, I don't know, maybe 15 pages or so. These are the pages in the back. Then it has a whole bunch of elements in it. And they're all punch outs. You don't have to do no dang fussy cutting.
Yeah. Well, that one's more the backside. Oh, see, the front of it is the punch outs. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the Golden Oldies.
Yep.
The other one was the Golden Oldies too, but those were just words.
Yeah. So
And this
that's
one
the ones I have.
is this one by Marlene too?
Yep.
Okay. Is it thick like Marlene?
Oh,
Like
yes. This is how thick. Here's one of them.
Okay.
There's the
So
other one.
it's worth $30. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like 3 books in one.
And then this one would double this thick. This one right here, I've seen it for 22.
The
Golden Oldie Collector's Book.
The Golden Oldies Collector's Book.
Yeah,
That
I've
other
seen
one's
it
collectors too. Okay.
for 22. So
With pictures. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. The other one was sticky quotes. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Collectors. Okay. All right. I'll check it out.
Like, there is a ton of stuff in it. So, like, to buy all that, like, in separate packets, you'd spend a lot of money.
Exactly.
Because, like, one page would be like a packet, basically.
The Dana is the quote book also by Marlene. Just the sticker quotes.
Yep.
It's also by Marlene too. All three of them were Marlene's. But I do know that the thicker books uh, can run up either from $22 to $30.
Yeah, that one is 22. I've seen a couple different
Right.
websites.
Okay. Okay, there's the teapot. And then I can cut it out and then I can place it on the pink wherever I can get the most value. So let's cut it out. And this is just a rough copy. And we can add or take to it. And I will make that longer. So we want to make this part longer so it'll actually go under the lid. And I like that double helix move that I did there. I don't know if I can copy it or not. I'll try. Hi, Lindy. Lindy, um, I've got your information for the napkin trade. Are you in my group already? Are you in my Facebook group? You don't have to be in my group, but I just asking. Cindy's one of my new girls. Okay. Well, if you want, you can join my Facebook group and then you will have access to addresses. But for the napkin trade, you're going to send your 10 napkins to Esther Thompson, and I will mail you her address. And you're going to mail 10 napkins to Esther with a self-addressed stamped envelope. And then she will mail you back 10 different napkins. Does that sound okay? Okay. So, um, and if you have any questions, just message me. And if you don't mind, message me your address if you haven't already done it. I can't remember if you did or not. I'm getting I'm getting really, really confused with all of these things going on. But I like multitasking. I really do. It's amazing how I get things done. So that'll be the lid. And I can outline the lids and the around the edges of this either in black or in another shade of pink. Oh, pink to make it darker. I can ink it with my ink pad with this plum collar. I've got a plum collar that's really close to the butterflies, and I'm going to cut out the rest of the butterflies to put on one on the lid. I'll put one on the lid, and then let's see if I can put this. See, I could get this much over here on this teapot right here, and it'll have these two butterflies on this pot. So that would look good. Jennifer likes your house.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to trace this on here, just like that. And then the base of the pot, this little base, I can um, I can highlight that too when I highlight everything else. So I'm going to just sort of trace this around, and I want to make it taller up here to go up under the uh, the lid of the pot. So I'm just going to make this just a little bit bigger than what I have. Like that. And I'm going to cut this out, out on here too. Let's see if I can do that. Let's do that. And I'm being brave. I'm being brave and I'm using ink.
Oops. For that.
Okay. Kind of looks like an elephant, doesn't it? That's not going to work. But I can cut it apart and I can do it. I can do that. Okay, I'm going to cut this out first. And I'm just going to go right on the inside of the ink. Oh, I got to go on the inside. Okay. So that's going to be cute. Well, bless you.
That was Gage.
Hi, Gage.
How he just walked through the hallway.
Just sneezing by, huh?
Uh-huh.
He's got allergies too.
He does bad.
So I think that looks pretty good. And then I might be able to take some of this lace. I could use real lace. I could use real lacy stuff. But this matches the paper. That'll be underneath the pot, the head, the pot, the lid. Okay. Did that one. Here's the lid. But here it is, and I might have to put it over here. I'm gonna have to cut this. I can put it in the bend. It's gonna have the bends, just like scuba divers. So what you do is you fold it real good right here, and then you can stick this in the ditch, and it'll be like that. And I'll cut the lid out. Oh, and the this will be on top too, and the lid. Coming along, guys. What do you think? Okay, I like that. And then I can still cut out another butterfly, and I'm going to cut out the other two butterflies and put them in the book too. And then I'm going to do and then I'll have enough paper to do coffee cups. And I might do two coffee cups, or I could stack them. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down because I feel like it's a go. It's a go. And I got to do the handle. And I'll outline it. What do y'all think? Is that going to be okay? Hey, Jennifer. Did you just get here, Jennifer? Jennifer's, she does a lot of drawings, just like I do. I won't go this way. She, uh, she draws just about everything that I make. She, uh, she likes to draw. She's good at it. And Jennifer has a little channel. She doesn't stream very often, but she's got a couple of videos on her channel. If anybody wants to ever go visit Jennifer, just saying. I thought you were here. Okay, Jennifer. They were just saying hi to you, and I guess that's where they just came in. Okay, Okay, Jen. Thank you, honey. I said hi to you then. We were on the same channel. Okay. So how's this looking?
It's good.
Is anybody having any storms right now at your place?
We were good today. I don't know.
I haven't had anything bad. He's out there cutting the grass. It's the temperature's down just a touch, but it's still in the 90s.
Oh yeah, it's crazy hot. Scott got too hot at work yesterday.
Oh, did he? Did he have to come
Yeah,
in?
yeah, he had to sit down. He was working, changing something on the machine that he runs,
Oh, okay. Is his
and
is his machine air conditioned?
it is. But like whenever the mechanic comes to work on
Yeah.
the machine, Scott has to help him.
Yeah. Well, of course.
So yeah, he got out there and got hot.
Has Scott ever built a car or a truck?
Heck no, he don't like doing stuff like that.
Oh, he don't. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Well, when I
He
first
don't like to
married,
work on our vehicles.
I don't know what's going to happen if when we get older. I tell you, we're going to have to hire a mechanic because Joe has always done our mechanic work,
Yeah,
and
well, Scott could do ours, but he don't.
and
So
my car is a 22 model, so it's still under warranty, and I get oil changes and tire rotations and everything for free so far. But I think Joe's used the last of them, so from now on we'll have to pay, and I can't see him paying to
uh,
rotate tires. I just can't see it. He'll do it.
oh, Scott does it. I mean, like he's like, take my truck and get it done. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
he don't like to fool with it.
Uh,
Now his Jeep, he'll work on his Jeep because it's a little bit easier than working on a newer vehicle.
yeah. Well,
But
Joe.
we
Oh,
just
yeah.
spent eight
Well,
hundred
that's
dollars
true.
on that sucker.
That's true. And when we first got married, Joyce was in college. She was in Eastern uh, University, Eastern Kentucky, and so she was driving an S10 truck,
Uh-huh.
and she run it. She run it into the ground. She ran it up good, and it was leaking oil. So she blew the motor up, and he brings it. He has it brought home, and which really it wasn't. She's just a girl. She didn't
Yeah.
know, and she knows more now than she did in college. But anyway, uh, so he got it home, and he took it apart and started putting the motor in boxes,
Uh-huh.
and like all the carburetor stuff in this box and all of the he sort of had it organized.
Organized, yeah.
And he took the whole engine apart, fixed whatever was blew up in it, and I'm assuming it was like a piston or something, and he fixed it, and he put that truck all back together, and we had gone out to eat, and he had one piece left, and it was a little bar about 5 inches long with a screw in it, and he couldn't figure out where it went.
Uh,
So we were out eating one day over at eating pizza at Giovanni's, and there was an S10 in the lot. Well, I went ahead into the store, and he didn't come in. He was underneath that car
look.
looking, and it held the spare tire up.
Uh,
So he literally took it apart and put every single piece back on that truck. And And I was so proud of him. And he ended up selling the truck to a little high school. We were close. We lived close to a high school, and of course he worked at a factory and he knew 50 people too. But he sold it to one of the boys at work for their
So,
kid or something, and it wasn't a month, and they had already wrecked it.
uh,
Gotten a wreck, totaled it.
that's one reason why you don't buy a teenager a new car. It is.
It is. It is.
My nephew wrecked my sister's vehicle 3 times.
Oh my.
Yep.
But
He hit a telephone pole one time.
and he had an Astro, which was an Astro is a van,
Uh-huh.
and he babied that Astro. It was like a 70s model. It was really old, and it drank oil and water. So he every day he drove that truck. He put oil. He checked the oil and the water in there to make sure it had enough oil and water. And and we dated in that van. I remember riding in it, and
This is my vintage
it
page.
looked like a Scooby Doo van. And he bought another truck, and he decided to sell the van, and he sold it to a teenager. And he says, "Well, I got to talk to your dad before I sell this to you." He says, "I'll sell it to you, but I want your dad to understand, that you have to check the water and the oil, because if you don't, it will, it won't make it."
Load
Well, it wasn't a month, and
up.
it blew up. He blew it up, and so he did tell the father, that
Oh,
it would be a great van to run around in, but not a kid, because
uh-uh.
they're gonna zoom zoom
They're
zoom.
gonna dog it, yeah.
So that was the end of that one. But it was so funny. And then he had a dump truck. He had a big, big, you know, 1-ton dump truck. The boys and their toys.
Yeah.
hmm So he bought it and he used it. He hauled dirt and put in dirt around the house and whatever. He used it. It was a one of his toys. And so he decided he wasn't going to need it anymore, so he was going to sell it. And he sold it to a young guy. He was probably in his late 20s and 30s, maybe. He might have been 30. And he said, "Now," he says, "you cannot run this with the pedal to the metal." He said, "This dump truck, you can't run it with the metal to the floor. The gas pedal to the floor." He says, "It won't
Uh-uh.
make it. It won't make it." So uh, it wasn't a week, and the guy called him, and he said, "Mr. Schuler," he says, "I was going down the road and in this truck, and and out of nowhere it blew up on me."
Mm.
So he says, "You wouldn't mind going give me back half of my money, would you, on the sale?" So that was a problem, and he didn't, because he sold it to him and he told him what was
Told
wrong
him.
with it. And he says, "I told you you couldn't just run it real hard like that." And
Mhm.
he wasn't doing in town driving. It was interstate.
Yeah,
And
so he was probably
yeah. So, and he was happy and he was going to do this work and start a business, and he was doing better, for himself, and bless his heart, blew it up. Okay,
oh,
so now I need to think about the handle. So the handle is a curvy wurvy. Ooh, I might be able to use one of these hearts. I wished it was the other direction. It's not.
I put Mod Podge all over this page, so I'm scared it'll stick together.
Well, you better let
And
it sit and dry.
so I put this glaze over it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, let it dry overnight. You got any words on there yet?
No.
So I would love to have this here as the handle, but I don't know that I could copy it or not. Should I dare try? Do I dare try? I can try.
My piggy.
Try as you might. Esther had a husband, had a WV van, and we were dating. That was 24 years ago, Esther, for me. I had a Grand Prix, a red Grand Prix, and uh, and it was a 90. I think it was a 92 or 94. And so I was getting a newer car, and my car had the alternator, and it went through alternators like every year. It needed a new alternator. So my next door neighbor, he was 18. He was out of high school, and he worked on cars. And he took a car and built it from scratch. So he was a car guy, you know. So he knew my car, and he knew, and him and Joe talked about my car, what was wrong with it and stuff. And he even worked on it with Joe. He was a good kid. He'd come over and see what Joe was doing. And so he bought my old car. I said, I'll sell it to you for $1,000. I said, you pay me 100 whenever you can. I said, I'm not going to keep track. I'm not going to burn a tab. I said, you pay me what you pay me, and keep track of it. So every month he'd come over and hand me some money. And he says, I think I owe you one more. I'm not sure. And I said, I haven't been keeping track. So he paid. I guess he paid me 1,000 for it, but I wouldn't care if he didn't. I wouldn't have. I would never. I don't think I would have questioned him. He was a good kid. Okay, so I think I'll cut it out first over here, and I'm just going to imitate this. But I want it to go the other. Well, when I cut it out, I'll go the other way. Okay. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do when you're cutting things out. So I want to go all the way over, and then it's going to go down to the base. We can see if that'll work. It's going to be on this side. That'll work just exactly like that. And is the handle higher? Yes, it is. It's higher than the top. So that's perfect. First time's a charm. This was scrap paper. When we put new ink into the printer, you have to run a print page.
Oh yeah.
And then it needs to be.
Should I sit them two up here on the suitcase?
Yes. Oh, yes. That's so cute. They're waiting on the ride.
Now I have to see if it'll stick to this glaze.
Oh, surely it will. Get the hot glue gun if you have to.
This will be my Granny and Papa Ellis page.
We have Ellises in our family.
Yep.
A few. Once or twice removed.
we have there's us, and then there was some Ellises that lived right behind us whenever I was growing up,
Yeah.
and we we think that we're somewhere related. We just don't know where
Oh wow.
because the Ellises, um, there was like 7 brothers that came from England and Ireland
Okay.
over in that area, and
Okay.
they all split up across the United States when they came.
They had to move around. Yeah.
So we don't know if we're
Do you know what they were uh, famous for, or what their businesses were?
well, s- some I don't know, like back then, how that far back. Um, but like my granddaddy, he farmed and he was a moonshiner. And then
Be-
I don't know the other ones really.
Oh shoot! It's going to be too big.
And my granddaddy got killed, so I never really met him. So I never
Oh,
answered questions, got questions
that
really
won't
answered.
look bad if I overlap it a little bit, will it? I'll try it. I got enough pink. I can try it.
Shoot, my granddaddy was mean.
Huh?
My granddaddy was mean.
Was he? My my grandmother's father was too. He was a rancher, and I guess that there was 11, 12 kids, of course, according to my grandmother, and she was somewhere in the middle, and uh, and they all slept in one bed, and I'm sure there was a girls' room and a boys' room, but that doesn't mean anything, but because
Mhm.
you sleep wherever you can find, to lay your head.
Yeah, again, because there was probably 12 or 13 kids in a 2-bedroom house.
I know. Anyway, he had 2 farms, and so he was rich in a way, but he also had 5 boys.
Hmm.
And you talk about owning the boys. He owned
Oh,
them
yeah.
boys. He owned them, and they worked. They weren't allowed to leave. They weren't allowed to
Mm-mm.
get married and run off.
That's the way. Well, that's the way mine was until he got killed, and then my daddy had to quit school so
Yeah,
that he could send money home to my grandma.
right. Well, my grandmother, I think she made it to 8th grade, but we really don't know
Yeah,
for sure because I never saw any paperwork. But she
yeah,
said she did. But but obviously she was well read because my grandfather and grandmother both read the paper every single day, and that is supposedly that a newspaper is good enough for 8th graders to read. What
yeah.
I've heard, from what I've heard. Anyway, she ended up leaving home, and she moved to town. And her sister, one of her older sisters, took her in, and she had to pay $1 a week to live with her sister because her sister couldn't afford her. But her sister also helped put her through beauty school. And back then, beauty school was like a few months. It wasn't a year or anything like that. It was really an easy thing. And that where the school was, my grandfather was in barber school, so they met at school, and they I guess they graduated at the same time or thereabouts. But anyway, they end up getting married and starting out together, and and uh, and so he only had one leg, and everybody always made fun of her for marrying, a handicapped, but it didn't matter to her, he
Yeah.
still was able to cut grass. I mean, cut hair, and
Oh, yeah.
so they ended up taking all the money they can get together. I don't know how they did it, that they scrimped and saved, and they've got a barber shop. They bought a barber shop, and then I think they had like an apartment across the street or something, and it was real close, like a one-bedroom apartment, and to live in. But they worked every single day that they could. They worked, and
Right.
and she had two chairs in the back for women, and he had four chairs at the front, and he had operators, other gentlemen barbers that come in that would rent those chairs, and he charged them rent for the chair,
Yeah.
and that's how they paid the barbershop off with. And then they had my dad, and then they were able to buy a house, and just they that's how they grew. And then they were able to buy some land right outside of city limits, right on the Ohio River. They bought some land, and they that was their vacation. They went out to the camp on the river on the weekends, and that's how they vacationed. They didn't go anywhere on vacation.
Yeah.
They
Well, we
worked.
used to do that. Like we used to go
Yep.
camping
Yep.
and then we would go to my granny's in Alabama and that was it.
Yeah. And we we didn't we went camping for vacations, and my grandmother's, and that lived in Lewisburg or in Greenbrier County, West Virginia, which is a fun place to go on vacation with, because there was a
Mhm.
lot of history and stuff. and uh,
Right.
and so there's my handle, curly cute. Yeah, we didn't go anywhere. And then every other year, mother was in summer school, so every other year we got to go somewhere, and we would go to the beach. So we've been to Myrtle Beach, and then we went to the beach up in Delaware one year, and we had mom and dad had friends up there, and we vacationed with them up there. And I remember that I wasn't in school, but I remember that vacation, and I
Right.
remember the beds, and there was a feather bed. I mean, a real feather bed, and my sister got it. I
uh,
didn't get it, although I laid in it one time. But she's allergic to feathers. Of course,
uh,
we didn't know that at the time.
so it bite her in the butt.
I'm sure she had asthma like crazy.
Well,
But
my grandpa, he was pretty mean to my granny and
yeah,
all
yeah, and,
that.
and
So,
my grandmother's dad was too. He was a mean old bully,
Codger.
and he made he if and when my grandmother was still living there, she had to go out and feed the cows every morning.
Hmm.
She had to go before school, and of course I don't know what it entails, just giving them a bale of hay or something, you know, a scoop of
Water.
grain. I don't know what else it entails uh, back then, but she couldn't wait to leave that farm. She left and never went back.
Yeah, well, my granddaddy, he got shot and killed.
Oh my.
And he got
Well,
shot and killed by either my granny, my
oh
aunt, or my uncle.
my gosh. Nobody knows.
Nope, they took it to their grave. They
Well,
um they put it as self-defense because
oh, I
my
see.
granddaddy went over to my aunt's house where my granny was with a gun and was, saying a bunch of stuff and saying he was gonna kill whoever got in the way, but my granny was coming home, yada yada. And so
I declare. Well, that's the way they were rough and tough, and I wouldn't be surprised. My grandmother never would say, but when they all slept together, she never said, but I bet you she was touched, and and I don't know if it was her brother, or her daddy that touched her, but somebody's touched her, and
yeah,
and her mother died when she was like 5 years old, so she was tiny, and her dad married really quick and married somebody else, and she hated that other woman. She did not like Rosie. She thought Rosie was a mean person, and it was her mother.
probably was.
She missed her mother. And she never said anything nice about Rosie. And she couldn't wait to get out of school. And of course, she probably made her do chores, And
Well,
back then, and I think they had dirt floors. I think the only room with the floor was the main room, kitchen and dining room and living room. That was the main floor, and I think it was plain hardwood, no rug. And I'm pretty sure the bedrooms were dirt. She was always cleaning her shoes. As I remember, my grandmother, she always made sure her shoes were clean as a pin, and my grandfather too. And because I'm sure living in the country, she always had dirty shoes, and she probably had hand-me-down shoes. And my grandfather, he lost his leg. He was at a barn dance, and he stepped on a rusty nail.
oh God.
So he got gangrene in his foot,
Uh,
and it wouldn't heal, so they had to cut his foot off, and they cut his leg off 5 times before it actually healed. And and they said this is the last time. It was above the knee, and they said this is the last time we can cut your leg. The next one, it would be clear up to your hip, and nobody has survived that one. So my his daddy, whom I never met. Of course, I never met my grandmothers either, but I had never heard my grandfather talk about his mom and dad. And but his dad took him home. He said, "Son, I'm taking you home. I'm gonna treat this now." And he put turpentine and gasoline on his leg,
oh God.
on the pack to kill the gangrene, to kill the green. And he packed it every day with that stuff, and he survived. But if it wasn't for his daddy, he would have been dead. So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, my grandpa was pretty nasty. And then once he was gone, my dad went to work, sent money home to my granny. And I mean, there was um 11 kids alive. Two of them died when they were babies.
Oh wow, yeah, they did too. They had siblings
So,
where she miscarried,
mhm.
and and it was from hard living. I guarantee
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
it was from carrying in the wood and
Well,
chopping
one was
wood.
born dead, and then the other one broke its neck in the baby bed,
Ooh,
in the rungs of the baby bed, because they didn't have padding and they didn't have the safety features or anything.
yeah.
You know,
Oh wow,
yeah. My granny went through a lot.
yeah. It's hard living.
Hmm. Oh no, my granddaddy. He was he would get drunk and just be really mean to her.
Mm-mm-mm. Well, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that happened a lot in my grandmother's house too.
Mhm. He stabbed her in the butt with a knife one time because he told her to go and cook dinner, and she said, "I'm going to finish this last row of cotton." She was picking cotton, and he goes, "I told you now," and he stabbed her right in the butt with a knife.
Ouch. She's lucky it didn't get infected.
Yeah. And then one time he shoved her off the porch and broke her arm.
Aw.
He was a butthole.
Well, my grandparents weren't like that at all, but even though
She
their
was
parents
tough as
were,
leather, though.
yeah,
She didn't take crap off of her kids either. After he passed, she stayed tough because she knew she had to raise them kids.
right. Well, I guess that's why my grandmother only had one kid, you know. Daddy
Mm.
was the only one. And, I don't know what they used for birth control, but they obviously had something.
Yeah, my granny, they had kids to help work the farm, and
Yeah.
then she ended up with them by herself.
So how's Chat doing? Is Chat doing okay? Sitting here talking to Dana and I'm not getting done. You need to hurry up. Hurry up. Get this done.
We have a graduation to go to tomorrow.
Is it one of your nieces?
No, it's my friend's son that his dad passed away last year.
Oh, okay.
So we're
Is
going to
she
it.
is she doing okay?
Yeah, she's doing all right. Her kids struggle more than she does.
Yeah.
The one that's graduating, he just, you know, everything has been like his senior year. He hadn't had his dad, so
Right. I noticed that kids do a lot more for graduation than they did when I was there.
yeah,
I
they
can
get.
remember the football team had some kind of a dinner, and but I don't think my brother or my mom went. I don't think they did it.
Mm.
You know, they he said,
I
I don't
know
know.
I know that we had like some of the things that we had was we had senior tea, and then we had Badcock in town, the furniture place. They um they did something for the girls every year. And then what else? Oh, we had grad night, which they call it grad bash or something now.
Yeah,
And then after we got out of school, they started doing the night of graduation, or no, the night of prom. Instead of the kids like leaving and going doing other stuff, they would have this big thing at school, and they would have all these prizes and stuff so that the kids wouldn't go out after prom, and
yeah,
get hurt, or so they did that. I don't know. It definitely has changed over the years.
yeah. Well, I think I remember one time after a dance, we went. Everybody went to Denny's. You know, when we had breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
and then we went home.
Yeah.
We actually went home. We didn't. I mean, I don't know what you were supposed to do, but my I went to high school and graduated my junior year. I finished my credits up in summer school, and then my brother he didn't finish a math class when he was in the third grade,
Mm-hmm.
so the whole class didn't finish it. They were that bad. The teacher couldn't get them to finish their math book, and so she flunked the entire class. I'm pretty
What?
sure she got fired
Yeah, I would say.
because there's no excuse. You've got to move on, you know. But they were just so mean, and so anyway, my sister and brother finished the rest of their school years out together, and we all look alike, so they thought they were twins. Everybody
Mm.
thought they were twins. So they had it. We had a very unusual year. We all three graduated at the same time. And mom said, "Yep, I got one smart one and one dumb one and one right where she's supposed to be." And
Jesus.
she had she was lucky. She says, "I feel lucky that you all graduated at once." She says, "I don't know how it happened because she didn't argue with me because I was dating and I was halfway engaged, and we had asked to get married, and she says, "No, honey, you can't get married. You're too young. You have to wait till you get out of high school." And I said, "Okay." So guess what I did? I went.
Graduate early.
I went, and it was legal. So my mom couldn't tell me no. I couldn't do it.
Mm.
It was legal, and I wasn't the only one. There was like five of us that did it. So all I had to do is go to summer school and get an extra English class. And that time, you only needed 17 credits to graduate. Now it's
Yeah,
like 22. So
it's
you got to go
24.
your so you or 24, and you got to go to your senior year at least a half a year. And at that time, my boyfriend, he when he was a senior, he only went to school a half a year because he worked. He got a work job, so they let him off to go to work.
Yeah.
You were
Now
allowed,
you
if you had a job, you were allowed to go a half a year, and he did, and he worked.
now if you're going to go to college, you got to have 24 credits.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're not, then it's, I don't know, 18 maybe. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. If 18 or 19, probably.
Yeah.
But but anyway, my mom said, and so after I got graduated, and we went and asked mom again. We asked for we both went to mom and dad and asked for my hand. He asked me. I mean, it was really really sweet the way it happened. And then they said, "No, honey, you're too young. You can't get a you can't get married. You've got to have a job." Well, after I graduated, I on to summer school, and I went into nurse's aid schooling, and it was a 6 month course. Now I think it's a year course, and they do a lot more in nursing aid in nurses aid now than they did when
Oh,
I was.
yeah. It's MA now or
Yeah,
CNA.
it's a you got to be able to do ward clerking and read doctor's orders and stuff like that. Well, I learned how to do that too on the job, and they allowed me to do word clerking on my days off. But anyway, uh, I and so I went to the hospital, and we did clinicals there, and we had some really good teachers that taught us good stuff. And we were they were in cahoots with the nurse managers, and uh, and so happened one of the managers was supervisors was a friend of my mom,
Mhm.
so she knew us, and so um, they she said, "No, you can't work here. You're not 18," and I was just 17. So I went to the supervisor, and she knew me. She says, "Well," she says, "we can hire you if you get a work permit from your parents." So I did. I took my permit to mom and dad, and I said, "Will you sign this?" I was out of school. I went to nurse's aid training. I had a certificate. So what was the next job? I got a job. So we asked again. And on the third time, they they sort of well, and they kind of went out of the room, and I'm sure my mom went and cried. And I was just 17, and then my dad said she come in, and I was at the table eating, and he said, "What would you do if we said no?" And I said, "Well, Daddy, I'm going to be 18 in September." And he says, "Okay." He says, we've held it off as long as we could. So I got married.
My
Those,
sister got married at 15.
yeah. But, I went through the right channels. And of course, luckily, I didn't turn around and get pregnant or anything. And I thought we did it in the right manner, in the right order. Nowadays, it's backwards. Everything's, you have kids first, you
Is he
know.
still around?
Actually, he's dead. He had a heart attack.
Uh,
Uh, I don't know how long ago it was, but I never saw him again. I saw him he at the after we got divorced. Uh, he was mean. He was mean to me. I mean, we were he was my first. He was my high school sweetheart, and all through school we dated, and I met him at band camp. I was at band camp, and all the football guys came over to band camp after dinner when we had social hour, and he came over after after football practice, and all of them were all over. All of the football team was over there goofing off. But anyway, um, um, after we were married for 3 years altogether, but after 2 years he started messing around, and he worked at a factory, at a glass factory in town. Of course, it's gone. And he fooled around on me, and I said, no, 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 you can't do that. And he lied to me, and he says, oh, we're going all over to so and so house's house, and it's just going to be just the guys, and I wasn't invited, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, it turned out it was only the guys and their girlfriends,
Mm-hmm.
and and so I found out again, that he lied to me, and so we separated, and I got an apartment. Of course, I had a good job at the hospital. I didn't have any money problems, and I remember seeing him, when we were separated. And then we got a divorce, and I said, "Mom, will you go with me?" And she went with me, but I had to go in by myself to talk to the judge.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he asked me, and I said, "Well," I said, "we just can't get along anymore. He's running around." And we didn't file any, and we did the unable to
Short.
to work it out
Yeah.
deal, and just divorced him straight out. And uh and then after the divorce, he wanted to come talk to me.
Well,
I
of
said,
course.
"Oh no, oh no, 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 no! It's a little too late for that. You should have done that a year ago." And I would have tried to invite him over while we were separated, and he would come over and eat dinner and stuff. And it was his birthday, and I made him a cake, and he never showed up.
Mm.
So I cried over the cake and ate it all
Dude, I'd have
probably.
sat there and ate the whole dang thing.
I probably did. I think I ate half and threw half away, but but
Mm.
uh, But and then he kept calling me after we were divorced. And I said, I couldn't figure out, why are you calling me now? It's too late. You done did your
Yeah, you
duty.
got screwed the pooch, buddy.
And I was out with another girlfriend, and we had gone to this Sunday school training class, and it was downtown at another church, and I was parked across the street, and we were talking on, and it was in we were in the alley on a corner, in yeah, that's it, Teresa. We were on a corner at the alley, and I was going to cross the street to the parking lot, and she was going to go to the other parking lot, but we were talking for just a minute before we left, after we were at this Sunday school thing, and and here he comes pulling up, and he was with our insurance agent guy that was our age, and he was in the back seat with another girl, and they come pulling up, and they laughing at me, and this was before we were divorced. And
Dude.
I thought, oh my gosh, but we were separated. And I said, well, because we had to be separated for a year before we could get a divorce. So that's how that worked back then. But anyway, I didn't give him another chance. I did not get, I mean, he would have done it again.
Oh
But
yeah.
he ended up getting that girl pregnant. And I think he had two boys. And of course, he told me, he threatened me, because we had a house, and he threatened me. He says, if you try to take this house away from me, he says, I'll burn it to the ground.
Mm.
And he would have. He would have. He was mean like that. So I wouldn't have been able to support myself by myself at a, anyway. So I wasn't mean. I was nice. I said, no, that's okay. So we divided half the furniture, and, you get a piece, I get a piece. We did all that. But it was pretty sad. I did. I mourned over that wedding divorce for like 10 years. I was really, really, and my sister-in-law said, Beth, you're not mourning, you're bitter about it. And I guess I was bitter. I could not get over it. And finally, I did, start dating and stuff. But it wasn't until I was 39 years old, 40 years roaming around this earth, till I found my true love. And that was Joe.
Mr. Joe.
And we both wished that we would have met when we were younger, because we would have made it. Because when you finish each other's sentences and want to do the same things, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's really good. Well, there's my teapot.
Me and Scott, we are different, but we're like he handles me pretty well.
Yeah, yeah.
So, because I'm probably not the easiest to live with, but he's easygoing.
Well, he
And I mean, we have
understands.
fun together. Yeah.
Yeah, he just understands, and that's half the battle. And Joe is not easily to get mad. I guess you could say he can handle me too. He doesn't get mad very often. I think out of 25 years, he's only gotten mad at me 4 times, if that many.
Mm-hmm.
And then he always comes back and we talk it out, whatever we're arguing about. So that's pretty good record right there.
Yeah. Me and Scott just don't really fuss. Like, we'll bicker, but we don't
We've never uh,
fight.
we never fight to where we're separated.
Yeah.
And it was years and years and years before we even spent the night away from each other. I think it was a church thing that we had at church, where the men went, and then the women would go on a retreat. and
Uh-huh.
uh, and we were separated, and it was hard, because I wanted to be with him, and then he wanted to be with me when I went. And uh but it was just a weekend. It wasn't like too long. It was 3 days.
Me and Scott had a couple fights that were rough, but we got over it.
Yeah. And I think, I always said, I think pets always uh, ends a fight when you have a pet, because you start talking about the dog, and everybody agrees about the dog. you know you're not going to quit, get divorced because you don't want to lose the dog. And I think it should be the way, probably with children. If you have children, you're going to stay together, even if you have a big fight. You're going to stay together because of the children. But hopefully, people don't do anything so drastic where they burn their bridges. But
I
Joe and I
can't.
have never burned our bridges. But I wouldn't take him back. He wanted me to take him back, and back then, and I couldn't trust him if he if
Oh,
he
heck
didn't if he didn't love me, because I was kind of a cute girl back then. Uh, I was popular, and everybody wanted to thought that we were. And he was co-captain of the football team. We just thought nobody thought anything bad about us. So I put that little one on top and put these around the teacup. That'll be cute with these little butterflies. So let me find a teapot or a teacup.
cannot get this darn sticker started.
So let's draw a teacup. like that. But those were the days, I tell you. Thought they'd never end.
My
They were
sister
good
married the
years.
same darn man 3 times.
Oh my gosh. I don't
Yep.
know why. I have no idea why he even wanted to try again after he had his affairs.
Because he wanted to see if he could, probably.
I guess he was trying to control me. But he was jealous of me, and he had no reason to be.
No, he was jealous because he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I guess.
That's what
Uh,
happens whenever they do stupid stuff. They let it get in their own head.
he messed up. He missed out on a good thing. And at that time we were even trying. We were trying to have a kid. Because we had talked about it, and we said, do we want to start having a kids yet? And we had been married 3 years. We got a house. We both had good jobs. We had it made. We had a home and a garden, and our vehicles were paid for. But he wanted me barefoot and pregnant at home all the time. He didn't want me because tried to go to college, and oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. Well, who'd you go to? Where'd you go? And what'd y'all, who'd you talk to? And I go, well, I went to class. And at that time, I had no idea anything about college. And I finally just didn't go back because I couldn't take him and
Being a
his
butthole.
badgering. He wasn't for me at all. So I quit and just didn't go back. Well, I didn't know you had to drop, go back official and drop and do all that jazz. I had no clue, you know, that I was supposed to do something like that. And so I've got incomplete classes on my. I got F's on my resume, and that's because I didn't know I was supposed to go drop out.
Oh, I got one F on mine.
And I was scared to go back down there because I was afraid I'd get in trouble.
We had this Western civilization class. Oh my God, I hated that class. It was not something that was interesting at all to me.
Yeah. But I did go back to college and part time, and I've got 3 years worth of college. I didn't graduate in anything, but I was so stupid. I should have gotten an associate degree
Mm-hmm.
with all of the credits that I had. Not that it would have mattered on where I worked, because it had nothing to do with uh, me getting a job and all. Because I worked 10 years at the hospital, and then I moved and worked at a government. It was the USDA, and
Mm-hmm.
I worked in the lab, in a lab for the USD Department of uh, Farm and stuff. And they liked me. I was at that time I had moved to Texas, and I was the only white girl in the room, and they liked me because I didn't. Um, I replaced 3 people. That's what they liked me for. So that was good on my part. And they told me when I said I'm going back home, guys, and they said, "Oh no, you can't go home." And then they said, "If you ever come back down here, you call me firsthand." And they gave me their personal phone numbers. They wanted to call me, but I had to come back home. And then after I got home, I ended up. Uh, I got a job with the chiropractor, and I worked there for 10 years. And he said that he hired me because he thought I'd be good with people. He thought I had people skills. And I worked for him for 10 years. And I learned so much in that office because I was in the front, in the back. I worked as the housekeeper. I worked as uh, the front desk and the back, doing therapy on the back. I learned how to do X-rays in the back, and put. I could do. I was allowed to do everything except push the button. I would align the patient up, to get the X-ray, and with the back, you want to make sure the spine is straight on in the middle of the film because most likely that's where the problem is when you come to the chiropractor, and he would never adjust anybody without an X-ray. And I understood why. I learned so much about that because one time he got an elderly man, and he took his X-rays and he says, "Look here, this is why I take X-rays." He says, "See this right through here?" He said, "He's got bone cancer." And I said, he said,
Yep,
he
and if he would have adjusted him, it would have broke his bones.
it was broken. He says, "I cannot treat this person." So he referred him to an orthopedic, and he was a good doctor. He really was. He knew his stuff. But I did everything, and then I developed the film in old style in the dark. I had to
I know.
push the film through the machine and let it go through all of the chemicals, and then it would come out, and then I would have to hang it up in the dark. I had one little red light that I could barely see. If I was in there long enough, I could see a little
Yeah, your
bit.
eyes adjust.
Hmm.
Well,
And then I did account payables. We had a girl come in to do accounting, and she stole a bunch of money off of him and forced her name on some of the checks. And I said, "You cannot do this anymore. You can't hire a stranger to come in here and do your books." I said, "You better let me do it because I wanted that job. I wanted to do it." And he said, "But you're the only one I like doing my patients, doing the therapy." So he gave it to me, and I did accounts payables and accounts receivables. And I did all of the insurance. It was a good job. I learned so much. And we used to do insurance by hand, type it with the typewriter back then. And then we
yep.
got computers. So I didn't know anything about computers, but I do after that job I did. I learned so much because the people who gave us the computers and installed them, gave us free lessons.
Well, I work for a general practice
Yeah,
doctor,
yeah.
and
GP.
I learned how to do a lot there. But
Mm-hmm.
once I started going to X-ray school, I realized that the X-ray crap that he taught me was not even.
Up to par. Oh, I know. I'm sure
No,
his was old school.
it
Everything
was
that I
not
learned.
up to par, like none of it.
Hmm.
And I was like, no wonder I had a hard time getting X-rays sometimes, getting the right exposure or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. He
Because
thought I did good. He liked it when I did it because that left him more time. Uh, after I did the X-ray, I put the patient back in the room, and then he didn't have to be there, for any of that. And he was notorious for staying in his office too long. And we still don't know why. Nobody knows why he stayed in his office so long. He
my
would leave
doctor,
it.
he was like Speedy Gonzalez. He was a Peruvian doctor,
Yeah,
and he would come in about 8:30, and then he was busting out of there at 11:30
yeah,
because he wanted to go play tennis at lunch.
yes, yeah. On the
So,
golfing days, he was very
oh
fast.
yeah. So he would go, but this was every day. He went to play
Yeah,
tennis every day.
yeah,
So yeah, he taught me a lot, but he could be a butthole too at the same time.
exactly. So was mine. Yeah,
So
he was really bad. He was really hard to work for, and
I
everybody
learned
wanted to know how long did I do it? How did I do it to stay with him? Even the patients.
I learned how
But
to
he was a
draw
good doctor.
blood, how to do EKGs,
Yeah,
pulmonary
yeah.
function
He even let
test,
me draw lab.
X-ray.
He even let me draw lab because I
Yeah,
knew how to do lab when I was in in college, I did my first year of nursing. So technically, I probably had enough information to become an LPN,
Yeah, I
but
did.
I knew how to draw blood, and he let me draw blood.
I
And
finally went to started X-ray school when I was like,
yeah,
I worked there part of the time, but once I got too many classes and everything, I had to quit. But yeah, he could be a shithead.
yep. And he doesn't even work by himself anymore. He ended up joining another group of
Practice.
doctors,
Yeah.
and so I'm sure he doesn't come in except for when he has patients. He still has his patients that he sees that are regular. They're like Patreons. He probably
The
just
doctor
sits
I
there.
worked for, he finally retired, and now he is. I guess I don't know if him and his wife got divorced. She was a doctor too, and I worked with her too.
Yeah.
But he lives with my aunt by marriage with her sister.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. Well, she was a nurse too,
Uh huh.
but yeah, kind of weird. But
But I would not give away any of my experience. And the reason why I left is I had my sister in law. Her sister lived in the next town over. She lived in the next town over, and she worked at a doctor's office down over in Ashland, and she wanted me. She found out. I talked to her one day or something at a family thing we were together with, and she says, "You know how to do that computer?" She says, "You need that program." She says, "I want you to come work for me," because she was an office manager in Ashland. And she says, "I need someone to take care of this billing." She says, "It's all way out of hand and it's so overdue." And I had about that much billing. Of course the sheets are, big, and
hmm
I got it down to about an inch after I worked for her. And I left him to go to them, and she paid me $1 more. And he says, "I just can't give you another raise, Beth." And he wouldn't give me another raise. So I said, "Well, I'm leaving. Bye. See you. Wasn't gonna be you." And I was so glad I left. It was worth it. Plus, that's how I met Joe. The other girl in the office went to lunch, and she says, "I'm going to my sister's for lunch. I'll be back." And when she come back, she says, "Oh, Beth," she said, and of course they knew I was single and everything. She says, "You care if I give your phone number out?" And I said, "Absolutely not. Do not give my phone number out. I am not interested." And she says, "Are you sure?" And I said, "No, I am. That's out of the question. You can just forget it. I'm sick of it." And I said, "I just want to work." And so she says, "Well," she says, "Joe's going to call you anyway." I said, "Who?" "Joe. He was over at my sister's. He works at the refinery." And I had no idea what the refinery meant. I did not understand what it was. And but they refine gas, oil. But anyway, he called me after a week or so, and I said, "Look," I said, "I'm so sorry." She gave my number out. I said, "I'm really not interested." I said, "I appreciate you calling me. I have a nice day." And and so we started talking. He says, "Well, you can talk to me, can't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I can talk to you. Yeah, just like another trying to easy guy. I can talk to you. Sure, I can talk to you." And so after about 2 weeks, I went out with him, and and it was fine. And of course it stuck. We stayed. I thought, did I have any more butterflies? I thought I had three. There it is. So I got one more, and I'll put it up here, and then I'll put tea for two. Oh, I need another cup if I'm going to do two. I can put the cup inside this cup. I can do that. So let me get my cup pattern. Did I throw it out? Where did it go?
Hi, Kathy.
Oh, there's Katie. Calico Kate. How do you do, Kathy? Bye, Kathy. Glad you come in. I'm looking for my teacup. Did you all see it? I don't see it. Can I do it again? Shoot, shoot, shoot. Is it on the floor? I found it, part of it on the floor. We'll just take this. We can do it with this. So, let's try this. And I think I'll try to do it in the pink paper. And we want to do it with the cup handle on this side. And I'm going to put that swirl on it. So I'm going to do it. Let's go ahead and use my ink pen.
I had, me and Scott went to church when we were younger, but we really didn't know each other, and it had been years.
Oh,
And then whenever I was dating this guy, we ran into Scott and his wife out. I don't
yeah,
know, we
yeah.
a couple different places, and then next thing I know, like, me and that guy broke up. Well, Scott would call our house and say, "Are y'all going such and such this weekend?" Or, you know, everybody's going to Mud Hole, y'all coming, whatever, I didn't think nothing of it. And because we had hung out at different places all together.
Right.
And then one night, Scott calls me and he goes, "Do you like to go out to dinner?" I said, "Excuse me?" I said, "Did you forget something?" And he says, "No." I said, "I'm pretty sure that there is this marriage certificate somewhere." I said, "I don't think I want to be all messed up in that mess." We've been split up for 2 or 3 months. I said, "I don't know." So eventually I went out to dinner, me and him and my friend Carla. I said, we can hang out together on a double date, but I ain't going single.
That's what I did. I said, I
And
don't know if I want, I didn't want him to have to drive a half hour to come pick me up and then take me back home. I
yeah.
thought that was stupid.
Well, I was like, so we went, and then we were back and forth for, I don't know, several months before I finally was like, "Look, you got to crap or get off the pot, one or the other. I ain't doing this." So I I broke up with him for about 4 months.
Yeah.
And then here he comes to my house. "I want you back." I said, "I gotta go." I said, "My boyfriend's supposed to call." So I
Well,
don't know.
Joe, I didn't want to go out with Joe, so he says, "Well, how about if I cook something and you come up to the house and eat?" And I said, "Well, I don't know if I want to come to your house." I thought, that's a big red flag for me. He says, "Well, my daughter will be here," and I go, "Well, okay, that might be all right." Well, turns out he was cooking, and he says, "I don't have enough rice or noodles or something," and he says, "Janelle, go across the street and ask Stacy if she's got any of this or this." And they were used to doing community dinners together.
Oh.
And she says, "Oh, I've got some mashed potatoes. I'll bring them right over. You tell them I'll be right over." And so Janelle comes back, and she was just 17 years old, and she said, "Dad, Stacy said she's coming over with potatoes," and uh, and the next thing I was there, and Janelle was there, and then here comes the neighbor. So Stacy and her little girl was there, and that was Mary Elizabeth, and so Joe cooked for all of us. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
You look like
That's
you're
funny.
wore out.
I'm tired.
You need to
That's like riding a bull.
take a shower and
I'm gonna get off here. I need to go and
yeah.
see what Gage did in the kitchen because I had him pull the stuff out of the oven and check and see where Scott is because he's supposed to be on his way home.
Yeah.
Well, I think I heard him. I heard the train go by just not too long ago, and I thought about him
Yeah, well,
again.
he ain't on that train right now.
He ain't on that train. You better not be.
It's on.
No, he don't get on the train very much.
I know, it's what he said. It's just the idea. If he was a race car driver, or something like that, then every time I see a race car, I think of him.
Oh, but his cousin drives the
Does he?
train. hmm He's been doing it for longer than Scott.
They make good money.
I knew
Yeah.
a bunch of train operators down at work. They come in the refinery and I fill them up full of diesel.
They had their own tanks, gas tanks. They had free gas.
No, they didn't.
Well, I
Yeah.
meant the company.
I'd load up the big cars, big black tanker cars, about 40 foot long and towed 80,000 pounds. And
Well,
propane.
they used to have, safety meetings, and they would give him gas cards for attending a safety meeting, and he would get gas cards. I remember that. And
remember-
then they started doing points, and they give you some kind of silly gift out of a gift catalog.
Mm.
They quit giving the gas cards.
Back home in Kentucky, the gas was 39 cents when I started with him, with Ashland Oil.
I can barely remember that. I remember in the 50s, 50 cents. But my daddy was so good to us. He had a line of credit at the gas at the gas station, and
His old buddy.
and
run
we
gas
were
station.
allowed to just put it on our tab.
I can see if girls come down there and get gas, go ahead and put them on your tab.
My daddy wasn't that generous.
But we didn't run around. And my sister and I shared a car, and we worked. She worked at Jolly Rogers, and she'd bring home bags of donuts every day, because they made them every day and they had to throw them away. And she says, "I just couldn't throw these out," and they were in a clean bag. So she only did it a couple of times, and we would, yeah, we could have a bag of donuts.
They still
Becky,
do that, Dana, down here. Uh,
haven't
Dunkin'
seen you
Donuts
in a
does
month
it
of
on, like, a
Sundays,
Friday
girl.
night.
I was just wondering where you were just yesterday. I
They
saw
end up
you in
throwing a
somebody
few
else's room.
boxes away,
How are you doing, Becky?
but they enter not in boxes.
We've just been chit-chatting and talking and chit-chatting.
Brenda's got bad weather.
Oh my,
Who?
Brenda, in the
Brenda.
chat room.
She got what?
Bad weather.
Oh, where's she at?
Will, I don't remember. Where you at, Brenda? Becky, where are you?
Bye, Esther.
We was talking about love stories, Joe. I told him, and then one time before we actually went out, no, it was after we went out. He would come down to where I worked, and we lived worked across the street from the park, and we'd go walk around the park for lunch, and Joe would come and meet me, and he would bring me a lunch. Then I had to go back to the office, and it was raining one time. It started raining on us, and we ran back to the office in the rain. We were so in love, and and so and so I had to get out and go into the work, and I was drenched. I mean, hair, makeup, everything, and I wasn't fit to work. I was not. I, you know, this was 25 years ago when I needed the makeup and I needed the hair style. Now I wouldn't care. I just put my hair back in a pony and go. Who did you meet at the craft corner? Who was in the craft corner?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Becky's in Utah. That's right, Becky. I remember now. Angela said, "That's how I knew it was love at first sight." Let's see what Angela says. I can't find it. Well, anyway, okay, Dana, I'm going to stay on for just 10 more minutes and,
All
and,
right. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have
and
a
get
good
my
night.
butterflies back on here.
Bye,
Have a good
Dana.
night, everybody. Bye,
See
Joe.
you. See you.
Tell Scotty I said hey.
See you after a while. She'll be over at Juju's after a while. So anyway, I think I need a little butterfly here, and I'm putting it on with my glue gun. And then this butterfly, I'm going to put up here in this corner. So we got them on the pot and on the spout and the cup. Or I could put it over here, but I think I'll just put it up here. It'll be on this corner. So, does anybody need any more instructions for the napkin trade? Just let me know, and I can fix you right up. So, since oh, I can do stamps. I've got oopsie, I've got these stamps. I got little ones too. What is this? Oh, this is a whole thing of canvas panels. There's 4 or 5 of them in there. We should paint on those, and we're going to be working pretty soon on my mailbox. So this slides out somehow like this. So I've only used these, I think, one time. So let's do T with a big T, and then the little E, T, and an A, and then we'll do 4 with a little F, O, R, these are little ones, and then I'll do 2, TWO, and I'll put the big T and the little O, and then the little W. Have to break them apart on the bottom line. How's that look? Think I can do it? And I'm going to do it in this burgundy. Think that'll look good? Angie's working on distressed oxide paper that looks like it is dyed. What are you making? Are you making flowers, Angie? So there's my tea. So wish me luck. Brenda's under tornado watches till 10. Okay, Angie, Brenda. Oh, it got quiet after the rain. TEA. I need a napkin. So please be careful, y'all. Many envelopes. TEA. It's awful far away, but that's okay. And then the A. It's a little distant, but it's okay. And then the O will go down there. 4. And I'm going to do these in small. We'll keep going. F. O. O. R. And I can maybe touch those up. I don't think I need to maybe touch them up. 4, 2. TWO. I did that one with the T again. Tennessee's I bet Tennessee got some bad weather yesterday. Did you get some bad weather, Angie, yesterday? Brand new stamps. TWO. Well, there it is. T for 2. I don't know what else I can do to make that more perky, but I can put these away now. Let's see if I can do it. We've got the W, X, Y, and Z, M, N, O, P. I put them back in order because W, X, Y, and Z, C, D, E, F, G, Q, Q, R, S, S and T. These are little sponges, but they if you do it right, they work okay. And then A, and then the big T, and that all fits back together like a puzzle. I like to work puzzles. Oh, we need to keep this in mind. I've got an and sign in here. These are ands. I think both of these are ands. This is like an at, and that's like an and. We need to keep those in our thoughts. Try to remember. But Joe bought me this 2018, and that's probably when he bought it for me. And I was looking at those Marlene books or Darlene books, and they're like $30 a piece. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll wait until September and ask Joe if I can have them for my birthday. Wouldn't that be good? So, how can I accent T for two? Do I want to outline the words? I could put boxes around the words. See if you all could tell me what I can do. I like it so far. Oh, I think I'll ink the edges while you're time. Just underline them. Okay. I can do a little edging, and this will make it pop too. And then these flowers are this color, a plum color. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I can underline it with this ink. I could probably underline it with maybe a paintbrush. I see. I think that looks really cool with this on the edges. Now that is napkin journaling, guys. Napkin journaling. I like everything that I did. And I know you can't really see those, but what if I used a homemade underline thing? I still have a few more of these scallops. That I can use. That might look okay up in here. I could use 3 of them. Is that too much? And then I've got this down here for the bottom. Betsy is beating us up. Am I hitting you in the head? I'm sorry. So I was thinking this up here, Or I could put it down here. It would accent the tablecloth. I'll let you all decide. Angie's been getting emergency alerts on her telephone. Well, you're home now, right, Angie? You're not out running around or walking around. But I could put some of these, and I don't have to have them real close together, just separated even. It brings the pink out around. So, and then I'm going to underline the words, and I'm going to find an underlining uh, thing. I can still put some of those around up there. This one's a corner. And then what I want to do here is I'm going to cut that in half. And I'm going to fold it up like that. Bye, Angie. I'm just piddling here. Nobody said anything about the scallops. So, and I think I'll do this smaller, this size. So we're going to do T. Like that. Just a little something underneath there. T for two. That helps. Just a piece of paper. I think that looks good, just like that. And nobody said anything about the scallops. Or I could just leave them off. I don't have to have them. That way you see more of the napkin. So I think that's it. And I'll get that back out and put the date on here. So the date is the 20th. So I need the 0 and a 2. May the 20th. Okay, Lori. And I'm just going to put the date right here. Well, no, I might not. I'll put it over here. I'm going to put it on this pot. I'll put it up there. All right. So if I'm going to do the scallops, I've got a few more over here. This paper is so cute. I hate not using all of it. And then I'll ink around the edges. Got a half of one there and a half of one here. And another half. I've got another half somewhere else. Here, I got three little halvesies. So let's see where we're going to put them. Hi, Debbie. We are working in the napkin journal tonight, having a lot of fun. And if you don't like that up there, you can let me know. So I'm going to put them up there and down here. Like them at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to put some down there too. The sky's the limit. Oh, I had them upside down. Let's put them this way. I could do it that way. I can do every other one. It matches the tea lid, and I should have did the base out of this lacy stuff. Too late now. Too late. If I got a white pen, I can use the white pen on the plate. I got 3 at the top and 4 at the bottom. How about that? I think that's good. It's like Beauty and the Beast. There you go, Candy. I knew there was something about it. Uh, Earlier this summer, I think it was after Christmas, I was watching, I didn't watch the original Beauty and the Beast, but I was watching the movies. Uh, there are several movies, not animated, but with people. And I like watching Beauty and the Beast. And then I also liked Cinderella. There's like 3 or 4 or 5 movies of just Cinderella, the story of Cinderella, and I've watched the original with the Hills Are Alive girl. Julie Andrews was in the original Cinderella story. She was Cinderella, and that was back I don't know how many years. Can you believe it? So anyway, I'm going to quit. I'm just gluing these down. This is it. I've got it dated. And I think it's enough. I don't think we need any more. And we've had a lot of fun. And then I'll be back Thursday. If anybody has any questions, please message me, and I'll be glad to help you with your questions. And if anybody's interested about the napkin trade, we will be doing it June the 1st, and we will have you have to have 10 napkins to play, and somebody will mail you 10 different napkins in return. I think it's adorable. And if you don't have any napkins, you need to message me if you don't have any napkins. So, just let me know that you don't have any so we can take care of it. So, guys, I thank you for being here. Thank Dana. She was here for a good bit. She did a pretty page with her vintage page. And this is one of my best pages. This is the best one I think I've ever done. If I can find my phone, I'll take a picture of it. There we go. Archival ink's in there, but that's okay. So everybody have a great night and be safe. Watch for tornadoes and bad weather. So good night, everybody. Thank you. Good night. There. Now I can quit. Good night.